For a country that struggles to stand on her feet and bear the brunt of poverty, how does education for her people make a difference? Lagging from her peers in Southeast Asia, the Philippines is in dire need for help in turning around the economy, as well as catch up on her environmental policies. In this episode, we have the opportunity to sit down with a lawmaker tasked to lead in the quest to find answers to what seems like the perennial plagues of the Philippines.
Dynamic living in focus, education and energy for a better economy. We know, dear viewers, that there are 2.4 million households without electricity, and that's a fact. 1 out of 6 of our children are not in school, and that's a fact. And today, we are very much honored to have with us one of the proponents and whose advocacy is on education and electricity. We have with us Senator Sherwin Gatchalian. Magandang araw po sa inyo, sir.
Magandang araw, and thank you for coming here to the Senate. Alam ko medyo malayo, but thank you for visiting us.
Yes, all the way from Cagayan de Oro.
All the way from Cagayan de Oro.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, sir, we know also that isa sa inyong, you are a proponent for Senate Bill 1304, which is actually free access to education.
Correct.
So, sir, ang matanong ko po sa inyo, why choose education as one of your advocacies?
Okay. Just for the information of our viewers, I was a local official for a very long time. I was a mayor for 9 years and a congressman for 6 years. And during my mayor days, that's where I saw how education can transform the lives, not only of the student, but also of the family. I remember there's one time I was walking in one of our barangays, tapos may celebration doon. At nung in-invite nila ako kumain doon, tinanong ko anong celebration, akala ko birthday, no? Apparently, isa sa mga anak, no, nung bahay na yon, I think they had 3 kids. Tapos ang negosyo nila is a sari-sari store. And nag-graduate ng engineering at pumasa ng board exam. So they were celebrating. And because yung bata, he was the first person na nag-graduate sa family nila. And that kid, no, yung pumasa sa board exam, yung batang yon, will now have the capability to help the entire family, put the other siblings to school, and provide income for the entire family.
Actually, that's a common story, Senator.
Correct. So just imagine, no? Just imagine how college education, no, can transform the life of the entire family. No? So we're not talking about only one life, but the lives of the entire family. So that's where we began in Valenzuela, our road to strengthen our education system. And our motto there, just like a motto sa Amerika, walang maiiwan. No? Dapat lahat nakakapag-aral, lahat nakakapag-college, even yung mga kaibigan natin, mga anak natin na may kapansanan nakakapag-aral. And there's no rich and poor when it comes to education. I mean, dapat no inequality when it comes to delivering education.
Basic necessity ang education ng mga kabataan.
Correct. And now that itong in-author natin na Free Higher Education Act is really bringing education to the next level by encouraging and also helping kids to finish college. Kasi nagiging problema natin ngayon, yung mga bata gusto mag-aaral ng college, hindi nakakapag-aaral. Yung mga nag-aaral naman, hindi makatapos. And so many studies already conducted in the past, even our own studies, na isang bata na nag-graduate ng college is is almost 3 times ang kinikita sa isang bata na graduate ng high school lang. So yung 3 times na kinikita na yun will not go to himself, no, but will go to the family.
In other words, far-reaching yung impact.
Correct.
The moment na makagraduate man lang ang kabataan.
Correct.
And especially now with the globalization, di po ba? They
Correct.
become more competitive and
Correct.
capable of entering the market also.
Correct. And when you say competitive, how do we make our children competitive? How do we make our workforce competitive? And this is by making sure that they graduate from college. At this day and age, high school, ang high school diploma, hindi na kaya, hindi na sapat yan eh. Maybe in the past, no, if you have a high school diploma, that's already enough to land you a good job. But in a world of very competitive, no, we're not even competing with one another now. We're competing with robots, within artificial intelligence, with competing with the entire world, no, because of the internet. So, we really have to make sure that our children will enter college, get good education, and be able to compete.
And with this bill that you have, and which is actually in effect now.
Correct.
Because I remember, marami akong mga kakilala na, comes from the lower economic strata and who are encouraging their children now to attend medicine, to take up law, to take up engineering.
And that is the right attitude.
Yeah,
no? That is the right attitude. Before, the parents will say, "Wag ka na mag-aral, hindi natin kaya yan, hindi natin ma-afford." Even to think of sending their college, to sending their kids to college, hindi na nila iniisip yan eh. Because of the expenses, when they count the expenses. But now, because it's free, the motivation there becomes alive, and that's why the parents themselves are now pushing their kids, mag-aral ka ng college para makatapos ka.
At hindi lang college, Senator Win. Talagang mga kurso na akala natin hindi kaya ng ating mga kabataan.
And
but
that's
now,
good.
that's attainable, di ba? With this free tuition.
Your story earlier really is an encouragement. If the parents themselves are pushing their kids to take medicine, to take engineering, to take law, to take complicated courses, more so the better, no? I would rather have a good problem like this rather than a bad problem wherein walang gusto mag-college o hindi sila nagka-college.
Okay, now let's go to the electricity. Okay, sabi dito ng aking data is 16 million people has no access to electricity. And I was so surprised when I was reading the data. And then 2.4 million households have no electricity at all.
Yes,
so
correct.
if you translate that to the number of people that we are more than 100 million now. And then you have here 16 million people.
Correct.
So that's roughly around 20% or 18% na wala namang access to that.
Correct. So right now we have approximately the exact numbers 2.7 million households na wala pong kuryente, no? So itong mga bahay na ito are located in the remote areas, in the islands, in the poorer areas. The problem is if you don't have electricity, kung wala kang kuryente, you don't develop also, and the community does not develop. So one of the key ingredients for development is electricity. So it's now the mandate of government to make sure that electricity reaches the most remote barangay, the most remote household, and to make sure na wala ring maiiwanan sa kuryente, no? Lahat mabibigyan ng kuryente.
Kasi alam naman din po natin, power-driven din ang ating progress eh.
Correct. It's again, this day and age, electricity is a very vital component of development, no? You cannot have schools na walang kuryente, no? You cannot have agriculture, aquaculture, no? For example, kung sa mga fishermen natin, hindi naman silang pwede manghuli at walang cold storage. Dapat may cold storage. Yung ating mga farmers, pag nag-umani ng bigas, dapat may drying facilities. All of this need electricity. So the lives of the people will not go up, no? Will not uplifted kung walang kuryente.
So how do you intend, Senator Win, for these 2.7 million households to have electricity in their homes?
Using new technology. No? The technology around the world now permits us to reach the very last household here in our country. I'll give a very specific example. Yung mga solar rooftops. No? Kung hindi ka makakabit sa grid, you can put your own solar rooftop and you have electricity. If you have a barangay na wala pong kuryente, you can now have mini grids. And the mini grids are connected to each other. No, yung mga bahay connected to each other. Tapos lagyan natin yung solar and battery, may kuryente na sila. So these are the new technologies that are available in the market right now. And ang kagandahan dito, bumababa yung presyo, no? It's becoming very affordable. Dati ang solar, pang mayayaman lang yan eh.
Totoo po yan. Pero ngayon kasi with you know, the influx of different companies trying to put in their products, it has made the cost lowered.
Correct, correct. And also China, no? Once China start manufacturing a certain product, bumababa yung cost, no? It becomes a commodity.
Yes.
So now China has entered the solar manufacturing business, kaya bumababa ngayon yung presyo ng solar.
So with these two major, I would call them major because I'm a proponent also of education, and I also believe that electricity matters because, you know, for health services delivery to happen, you must have power.
Correct,
ba?
correct.
Kasi paano naman natin maibibigay yung mga gamot o kaya yung mga equipments na powered by electricity sa mga malalayong lugar kung wala nga power,
Correct,
ba?
correct,
So with these two major work that you have or advocacies that you have, you make it happen. But let me ask you one very simple question. Do you find any setbacks or are there challenges in the implementation so that it becomes a reality? Although, of course, it's already a reality, but so that everybody will be able to benefit from this.
Well, it's just to make the laws themselves is very challenging. No? For example, one of my advocacies to lower down electricity prices for our consumers. When you lower down electricity prices, you also cut into the profits of the big companies. No? So, siyempre, itong mga big companies, ayaw nila ng ganyan. No? So, there's now a very big pushback, no? A very big resistance on reforming the industry to lower down electricity prices. Unfortunately, kasama yan sa reforms. No? And that's why, whenever I push for reforms, we encounter a lot of resistance. But ganyan talaga, we just have to keep on pushing and pushing. No? And at the end of the day, ang pinakamahalaga naman dito is we did our best for the people and we did our best for the consumers. And I am very optimistic naman that once the people see the advocacies, no, the reforms that you want to implement, you will gain support.
Kasi isa sa the one that's dragging us now is actually the cost of power.
Yes.
Di po ba? And people are clamoring for some changes there so that it becomes affordable to everybody.
Correct. We will, that's also one issue now, no? Yung cost of electricity is very high. And that's also one of my advocacies to bring it down.
Okay. Now, Senator Win, heto naman alam din naman natin na you are also advocating, you know, us taking good care of our environment. Saan po papasok yung inyong advocacy dito sa being earth-friendly?
We can do many little things, you know, as constituents of this country. Pag sinabi kasi nating environment, we always tell the government, that's your responsibility, wala kaming pakialam, no? But a lot of the environmental problems actually come from us, no? Ourselves.
Tinan ninyo, Senator Win, pagbaha, ano bang nakikita natin?
Correct.
At the end of the
Ngayon,
flood, basura left and right, plastics left and right.
Correct, correct. And yan po yung nagiging problema sa ating mga kababayan. Yung mga simpleng bagay hindi nila magawa, like magtapon ng tama, no? Tatapon nila sa bangketa, tatapon sa ilog, tatapon sa dagat, at pag bumaha, sisisihin ng gobyerno, no? So this type of attitude dapat magbago Hindi pwedeng ituro lang natin parating gobyerno, kundi yung mga malilit na bagay, no? Those little things that we can do, you know, let's be conscious about it and help out in doing our own simple things.
Let me quote what I read somewhere, no? Na it's not really what the government can do for you. It's what you can do somehow to help the government run so that it would be best for everybody concerned.
Correct. And do what is right. No? A lot of this, you don't need sophisticated knowledge, no? Para hindi mo naman kailangan turuan pa ng college degree para hindi magtapon ng basura sa kalye, no? Okay. Those are simple things na pwede natin gawin. And we should encourage our constituents, mga kababayan natin, na gawin mo yung parte mo. Huwag ka na lang manisi, kundi gawin mo yung parte mo.
Okay, we'll take a very short break, Senator Win. And when we return, we'll continue on with our discussion here, Dynamic Living in Focus, Education, and Energy for a Better Economy. Please stay tuned to Hope Channel.
I am suggesting that since we are going to revise the Constitution, hindi naman po pwede na magpasa ka lang ng batas.
Hindi biro ang mga hamong hinaharap ng isang taos-pusong public servant. Kaya kinakailangang maging matatag at malusog ang puso, isipan at lalo na ang katawan. Makakamtan ang lahat ng ito sa pamamagitan ng iyong healthy choices. Alamin ang kahalagahan ng ating mga pagpipili araw-araw. Get your copy now! Turning around the economy, as well as catch up on her environmental policies. In this episode, we have the opportunity to sit down with a lawmaker tasked to lead in the quest to find answers to what seems like the perennial plagues of the Philippines.
Welcome back to Dynamic Living in Focus, Education and Energy for a Better Economy. At kanina po, napag-usapan namin nito ng aking guest, si Senator Win Gatchalian, yung kanyang mga advocacy. He's a proponent for education and for electrification or energy. At heto naman ngayon, pag-uusapan natin Sir, eto alam natin, malapit sa puso ng bawat mamamayan. Hetong kanin, bigas, di ba? Pero mukhang nagkakaroon tayo ng problema in terms of, minsan naririnig natin na kulang ang bigas o kaya ni-import natin. So, rice sufficiency.
Correct.
Ano po ang take ninyo dito? At alam ko po na you are also actively involved with this one.
Well, based on statistics, yung mga mahirap nating kababayan, almost 20% ng kanilang gastusin ay pumupunta sa bigas. So, napakalaki ng parte ng gastusin nila pumupunta sa bigas. Ganun kahalaga po ang bigas sa bansa natin. That's why 30 years ago, na-establish yung NFA to make sure na merong bigas na available, and then pangalawa, mura yung bigas na available, na nabibili. No? But if we can see what is happening right now, ang presyo ay tumataas.
Naku po, Senator, I was walking around the supermarket yesterday in one of the malls here, and I was looking at the prices of the rice, and I was so, amazed to see that it's the cheapest was 55 pesos.
Correct.
And then there's 110 pesos, 112, 60 pesos.
And in some areas, wala pang NFA.
Pa.
Wala pang NFA rice. So, this is where I think NFA has failed. No, it has failed the Filipino people in giving us cheap rice, and it has failed the Filipino people to make cheap rice accessible, no, or available to all. So it has failed in its duties, no, as an authority. Kaya isa sa mga reforms na dapat natin gawin is to let the market participate in this rice distribution. So meaning yung mga traders, pwede silang mag-import, no? At pwede silang mag-import ng murang bigas. We estimated we will get a discount of almost 10 pesos per kilo if we allow imported rice to come in.
So meaning to say, yung hating pinakamababa, sabihin na natin 42 or 50 pesos, then it becomes affordable to an ordinary household.
Correct. And in Vietnam and Thailand, ang landed cost nilang bigas doon is, pag kinumpute mo lahat-lahat na, will come around 28 to 30 pesos.
At magandang klase yun,
magandang
Senator
klase.
Win.
So, the discount, no, the savings that we can achieve can go beyond 10 pesos. No? But conservatively, no, in our calculation, we want to be conservative, 10 peso discount kaagad if we allow imported rice to come in. Ngayon, ang importante rin ay matulungan yung farmers. No? We're not naman sinasabi natin allowing imported rice will forget the farmers. Whatever we make out of the taxes that those importers will pay us, bibigay naman natin kaagad sa farmers to help them to become productive. We're not giving them subsidies, no? We're helping them to become productive. Importante makalaban yung farmers natin.
Gusto ko yung sinabi mo, Senator Win, na we are not giving subsidies, but rather, helping them to become productive.
Correct.
Kasi parang sinabi mo yan na pag binigyan kita ng piso, mapapalago mo yon. Pero pag binigyan lang kita ng isang butil ng bigas, hanggang saan lang makakarating yon.
We will help them with automation. We will help them with drying facilities. We will help them with fertilizers.
Irrigation din siguro,
Irrigation sa atin, free na.
Free na, di ba?
Free na rin.
Bago na yan.
That is the commitment of our government to our agriculture industry. But they have to be competitive. Hindi natin pwedeng, for the last 30 years, NFA has protected them, our farmers. But yung protection na yun, walang nangyari. Ang nangyari, hindi sila naging productive, hindi sila naging competitive. Kaya we're paying for that. As consumers, when we buy rice, we're paying for that unproductiveness or the backwardness of our palay industry.
In other words, Senator Win, pagdating sa rice sufficiency, you're telling our viewers that aside from, helping our farmers develop, di ba, automation and giving them every need that they need for them to be able to grow rice, we will allow the traders also to come in so that by opening the market, it becomes competitive also.
The spirit here is to become competitive. The spirit here is to turn our farmers and make them competitive, to transform them into a very competitive sector na para kahit na magdala ang Thailand or Vietnam ng bigas dito, kaya nating lumaban.
Okay. Now, isa po dito sa aking katanungan dito, sir, you are also you're helping also in the upgrade of the defense or military capabilities. Kasi pag nung inaaral namin yung inyong yung mga ginawa ninyo dito in the short span of time, this is one also of the advocacies that you have. Why is that, sir?
Well, ako naniniwala ako, one of the key components of a strong nation is a strong military. And not because we want to go to war, but we have to also be ready for an eventuality of a global situation. So meaning we need to be ready to defend ourselves, and we need to be ready to be able to defend our territory. In the age of global politics and global conflicts, we need to be ready. And one of the things that we need to make sure that it's improving is the military capability.
In other words, po, sir, you are more in the proactive stage.
Correct.
Rather
hindi naman
than
ibig
be
sabihin,
a reactive one.
Hindi naman ibig sabihin gegera tayo. That's not our intention.
Yeah.
But just be ready. And when we strengthen our military, hindi naman it's only concerning warfare. But there's also global warming, na kung may bagyo tulad ng Yolanda, the first people who will respond to that type of massive destruction is the military. So yung military ho talaga ang ating kumbaga first line of defense when it comes to disaster response.
Of all of your advocacy, sir, which is the closest to your heart and why?
Okay. Education really is the closest to my heart. And as a former mayor, I saw the positive effects, the great effects of education. And that's really one of my passion. Of course, because now I chair the Energy Committee, nakita ko rin yung importance ng energy and kuryente. And that's why I have now a twin passion on education and energy.
Okay. Now, heto po, what are the challenges that our country is facing right now? If I were to give you 1, 2, and 3, in order of 1 being the most pressing problem that we are faced with, and 3 being the least of this. So, what are these, and how do you think that you, in your own small way, can contribute in order for you to be able to help these pressing problems?
Well, marami pa rin tayong out-of-school youth. Out-of-school youth is now hovering around 5 million kids. Marami pa rin tayong hindi pumapasok ng college. only 10% of our high school graduates enter college. So ito yung sa akin, no, youth development is one of our biggest problems right now. Number 2 is inequality, no? We have to make sure that the rich and poor hindi yung lumalaki yung gap, kundi lumiliit, no? And in order to do that, again, you need education to make sure that our constituents land very good jobs. And number 3 is also poverty. No? Poverty is also a very big, it's still, no, a very big problem in our country. And that's why one of the things that we're fighting here is inflation. No? Dahil pag tumaas ang presyo ng bilihin, mas dumadami po ang mahihirap. And we need to make sure that rice is available because that's, pag wala ho tayong bigas, ang unang-unang mga taong pinaparusahan natin, mga mahirap nating kababayan.
That's right, no? So, what is your vision po for the country?
Well, my vision for the country is really, first of all, a constituency which is highly educated. No? And no, whenever I travel abroad, no, at umiikot ako sa buong bansa, and nakikilala ko yung mga kababayan natin, natutuwa ako, no? Because a lot of them are in good employment, a lot of them have good salaries, no? But there's still this stigma, no? Ito, masakit rin sabihin, but there's still this stigma na pag sinabi mong Filipino ka, ang unang pumapasok sa isip nila is domestic helper. No? And I think this is, no, masakit to sa atin lahat, no? Because they think that hanggang dyan na lang tayo. And I don't believe that. I believe that we can do much greater things. No? In fact, I've met a lot of great Filipino OFWs who have really shined above the rest in other countries. And in order to do that, then we need to have a very educated workforce. We need a workforce that is competitive, and we need a workforce that can serve the country, no? Sincerely.
Okay. So ano po ang inyong gustong iparating sa ating mga tagapagpanood, sir?
Ang gusto kong iparating sa ating mga tagapanood ay huwag silang mawalan ng pag-asa dahil ako naniniwala na paggagawin natin yung ating responsibilidad, yung sarili nating responsibilidad, kahit na maliit na bagay lang yun, no? Huwag magtapon ng basura, no? Mag-aral ng mabuti, sumunod sa mga patakaran at batas. No? Pag gagawin natin itong maliliit na bagay, ay makakatulong tayo sa pagpapalakas ng ating bansa. At the end, bansa natin to eh. Kung anong hindi magandang gagawin natin, babalik rin sa atin to.
Okay. Thank you, Senator
Thank you,
Win.
thank you.
Heto po ha, tandaan po natin mga tagapagpanood at tagapagpakinig natin because we're also on radio, sir. Little thing, great things happen from small beginnings. At lahat po tayo dapat magkaakibat. Each one of us has a role to play for us to be able to have a great country that we can call our own, and we should be proud to be Filipinos. At sabi nga dito sa 1 Thessalonians 4:10-12, we beseech you, brethren, that you increase more and more, that you study to be quiet, to do your business, to work with your quiet hands, and that you may lack of nothing. Magandang araw po sa ating lahat.
Dynamic living, making the best of you on fire. Dynamic living, sharing the faith, we're giving the love and bringing the total you.
If you have been blessed by this program, share hope and help us continue to bring hope everywhere. Send your donations to South Philippine Union Conference through any of the bank details shown here. Hope Channel, sharing love, changing lives.